Camera's going. They all have to be rolling.
There you go.
Let's start out by talking. Talk to me about your commute. How do you get to LA?
How do I get to LA in the morning? I take 2 trains in the morning. I wake up about 8 o'clock, get ready, take a shower, take 2 trains, and then take 1 bus to get here.
How long does that take?
About 2 hours.
Now, that's a pretty big commitment. It's 4 hours of your day spent traveling to get here.
Well, the worst is like, cleaning up after the shop, because they close at 9. Sometimes I get little stragglers, cut their hair, and then so I get out by 10, and then I walk from here to Hollywood Highland. That's the worst. And then I get home by like maybe 1:30, and then go to bed at 2, and then do it all over again.
That's a big commitment.
That's what I do, yeah.
Well, I mean, that shows how dedicated you are to being here.
I mean, I put myself through it, I did have an apartment here, and then that got screwed up because it got flooded, So then I said, screw it, I'm just gonna live back with my mom and stuff, She was living in Orange County, and then she decided she wanted to get a new apartment, so she went to Long Beach. She thought if I moved to Long Beach, it would be easier for you to commute, it's right by the train systems, and I was like, I'll do that, So then I live with my mom, and then so I get here, the trains and stuff like that.
So talk to me about that. What's it like living with, moving back in with mom?
I mean, it's not like, it's fine, but then it sucks, at the same time, because it's like, I live with like my mom, my stepdad, my little brother, So like I sleep in the same like room with my brother, and then his girlfriend comes over a lot, It's just really crammed in, So and I'm not like barely there, or like I just get home, I sleep, I'm always on the move all the time, so it's all right.
So where are you headed?
Where am I headed?
Yeah, apartment wise.
Apartment wise, I want to get close around here, just close in the area, so then I can either walk or cycle around, or get to work and stuff like that.
How long have you been living with your parents?
At least like 5 months, 6 months.
Talk to me about why do you spend 2 hours a day going back and forth, 4 hours really, for going back and forth to get here? I mean, this obviously is something important to you. What brings you to here? I mean, you could cut hair in Long Beach.
Yeah, I could cut hair in Long Beach, but I'd lose everything. I would lose all this, and I don't want to do that, And there's no money out there, to be honest with you, I mean, like, you can't really charge like $20 a haircut, and there's a lot of barbershops, So I mean, that's fine. There's a lot of barbershops, but I just kind of want to be like, I don't really like Long Beach that much, I don't like Long Beach. I don't like Orange County anymore. It's just like it's done with. Out here is more exciting. Different things happen all the time, You never know what can happen out here, so that's why I like
Is this your scene?
This is my scene right here.
Yeah. So you come here because it's a better opportunity. You like the scene better, and this is sort of your home.
Yeah, my home, my dream right here.
So talk to me about barbering. We talked a little bit in the past about how your granddad sort of got you into it.
Yeah.
Just tell me that story.
Well, I mean, like ever since I was born, they would always send me to the barbershop, even when I was a kid, just hanging out there. It was right down the street from my grandma's house. My mom lived right down the street, so just take me all the way over there. And then when I was like, 2 years old, I would just play in the corner, but I'd still observe, how everything is and stuff like that, and just always watching my grandpa, and that's what I've been doing.
So your grandpa was an old school kind of barber.
He was old school barber, yeah.
Tell me about his shop.
Shop is very small. They had another guy in there, he's one of his good friends, and then so how it lined up was when you walk in the door, it's a waiting area, it's like a little hallway. So you seen him, it was set up like this way, so like it was him, and then there's another station, and then there's another guy. So the other barber was right there, always next to him, and then as I grew up, about 10 years old, then I started cutting hair, so I was right next to him. So it was never like work, it was just like, I'm with my grandpa, this is how it is, just like family, it wasn't work, so I felt good. So then when I was right there next to him, like, I was like, yeah, I'm close to him, and that's what I'm doing, And then like 13 years old is when he's like, he sat me down, he's like, you're gonna start charging. So I was like, what? I'm charging after like 2 years, I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? I've been cutting hair for free for the last 2 years, So you gotta do it. So then when I started charging, that's when I felt that like, this is, I'm a barber now, because
me about your first. Well, do you remember the first guy that you charged?
Yeah, kind of. Like, I was nervous because I had to ask him, like, I'm gonna start charging now, So I told him up front, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start charging. He's all, that's cool, dude. I knew we could do this one day, But really, I didn't know. It was my grandpa talked to him beforehand, so like, it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
He taught me all. He started charging now, so it was good.
So what do you think your granddad would say now about sort of how you evolved as a barber?
What he told me is like, I don't want you to stay out in Orange County. I want you to go to LA, and that's what I want you to do. There's more money out there. There's more opportunity, because, like, it's just a lot of things going on. That's what I've always been doing. It's just like I'm always on the run, doing things and stuff like that. So, that's what he told me to do.
So he said, come here.
He's all, go to LA, So I was like, all right, I'll do it, So.
And then where was he at?
Where was he at? I mean, this is when he had cancer. So like, like he was in Texas. I went down to visit him, and he said that, pretty much I'm not gonna have to shop no more. And he was like, I want you to go out to LA and work there. But really, when he died, he passed away. I stopped cutting hair for a year. I tried other stuff and everything like that. I was working at a bowling alley in the morning. I worked at Papa John's, and then working at where else? I think a skateboard shop. So I was doing like 3 jobs here and there, trying to like find myself, do things. I was like, I don't want to cut hair, with somebody else. I want to cut hair with my grandpa, but he's gone, So then my buddy, he was like, snap out of it. You're a barber, just do it, So I was like, all right, I'll get back cutting hair and stuff like that, and then I did it, came out here, but I didn't go to Melrose at first. I went to Sherman Oaks. So I was driving back and forth from Orange County to Sherman Oaks, like far as hell. That took me like about like an hour and a half to get there, And then what happened was I was working at this black barber shop, and that's where I learned more of like their kind of like different way of cutting hair, So like that was real tough because like I'm white, what I mean? To be honest with you.
Now, did you have all your tattoos in there?
Yeah, I had all my tattoos and stuff of that, and then
did you have pretty much the look that you have now back then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, except for I didn't really wear a hat.
Okay.
The hat's pretty no, so.
But you had your handlebar.
Yeah, the mustache and stuff like that, so.
And so people, tell me about what that was like. I'm imagining Ice Cube sending nice.
No, yeah, it is. Like, I mean, there's a lot of celebrities that went there too. It was a high-end like shop. It was just like a barbershop maybe. So when I went in there, I learned like a lot of stuff from them because like they had portfolios, like little ones that I have now. So he's like, you gotta start taking pictures. He was helping me out, like schooling me, And I wasn't really like that outgoing, because I was nervous. I was in, a different place and like, trying to get back into this, He's like, you gotta show people your portfolio to know that you cut this kind of type of hair. So I was like, all right. So I did that,
So would you say that's where your barbering evolved a little bit? Like,
no, like I mean, more of it evolved when it evolved more out in LA, like just keep on going with things, keep on, getting things going. But like it evolved more like, just with my grandpa and stuff like that,
So that's where the skills that you practice today, you learned when like you were 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the old, type. But still, I'm always learning all the time. There's always new styles, there's always new things that are coming out. So like, those guys help me out a lot, like doing new stuff, So like, like lineups and everything. Like I didn't do that back then, lineups.
Tell me what a lineup is.
Lineups are like when you do the top of the head, and like sideburns, like perfectly straight and stuff like that. So that's what I did.
So and then you learned there, and then where did you go next?
So I was. What happened was my car got a flat tire. So I was so dedicated to stay in LA, so I started sleeping in the car in the back. They had a gated little thing, parking spot. So I sleep there, and then I got tired of doing it. I was like, I can't do this no more. So I was walking. I was like down, and I was all depressed. And I was walking down the street, and all of a sudden I found Floyd's. And so I was like, this is a cool spot. I got some little punk rock posters in it. All these cute girls working there. This is where I want to work at. So I go in there. I'm like, I want a job. And they're like, do you got a resume? And I was like, no, let me cut some hair. And they're like, no, you need a resume. And I was like, okay, So I told my mom, I was like, can you help me out with this? Because she was in real estate, and like she knows more of that. So she set up my portfolio and everything like that, like my resume. Went back, and then they're like, you're weird, so we're gonna put you on Melrose. So I had an interview right here in Melrose. So when I went in, I was like, yeah, I hope I get the job and stuff like that. And then I was nervous, and I got the job, so it was good.